Do you feel absolutely overwhelmed with the sheer amount of content that Chat GPT can produce? Do you find yourself struggling to keep up with the pace of the information that's being generated? Let's face it, it is like grease lightning. It is so fast. You put in the prompt, ask a question, and boom, there it is. And sometimes it can produce an awful lot of content. But don't worry, you are not alone. So I wanted to explore in this video the mistakes it is that I've made and share the solution with you so you don't fall into the same pitfalls. So sit back, relax, pen and paper, take some notes. Let's get going. The sheer amount of content can sometimes feel really, really chaotic. So how do you manage that flood of information that you're asking it to produce? I mean, no joke, sometimes it can be absolutely crazy. And I love Chat GPT because I'm constantly learning. So it can be a little bit addictive as well. Don't tell anyone. So you ask it to produce, you give it prompts, you ask it to produce the information it is that you want, it comes flooding back in. I mean, while that's great, it can often leave you overwhelmed and you find yourself going down that rabbit hole, which you absolutely don't want. So the solution is really to be absolutely intentional with what it is that you're doing when you go online. Intentional, be specific, stay in your lane, have a goal that you're working towards in each session, so you don't keep getting diverted from the copy that it's given you. Because when you're reading, you'll be going, oh, that's really interesting. Actually, let's just explore that. And then you're going to end up going down this rabbit hole and then you've just got more content thrown at you and you've completely gone off track. And also the danger is with that is it takes it out of your voice, which is not what we want as coaches. We want to create content that resonates with our audience in our voice. The mistake I have made several times, because I can get a little bit lazy, I'm going to blame the dyslexia for that, is that you want to catch the grammar mistakes. Chat GPT is nowhere perfect. It's as good as the prompts that you put into it. And of course, prompts aren't always going to be accurate. The instructions aren't always going to be accurate. So it will fill in the gaps with information if it's not sure what you mean. So you've got to be really mindful and careful to make sure that you read the content it is producing. And the solution for that is to just actually read and make adjustments as you are going. So let me know if you have made any similar mistakes. I've made loads, which obviously that I'm learning from. And I'm really curious to learn about your experiences of Chat GPT. What is it that you've discovered? What tips and tricks is it that you can share that the listeners, other people can learn from? Just pop them below in the chat box. That would be absolutely awesome. So you want to take control of your content. So what do I mean by that? It's hard to navigate Chat GPT. It's clunky, it's heavy, it's not easy to find your searches, what it is that you have produced. It's clunky. Sometimes you can accidentally delete stuff. You know, when you're in Chat GPT, you're working through processes, asking questions, it's giving you more information. It can get really confusing when you go back in and look at what it is that you produce. So the solution is to always make sure that you have a document open. Make sure you have whatever it is that you're using. I use Google Drive because I can have it on my phone. Google Drive, Word. I think you can have Word on your phone actually as well. It's just I don't use it on my phone. Make sure you have a document open and you're keeping the good stuff and just ignore the rest of the information. You don't want to keep everything. There's just copious amounts of copy. While it's good copy, I have the mindset is that I go in, I'm focused, I'm focusing in on one piece of work, I've got my document open, I put all the important bits into the document, and then when I've finished, I delete it. Scary, eh? I delete it because it's just too much. It's just too much, becomes overwhelming, consuming. So you want to unlock your creativity by using the power of prompts, by embracing prompts. So I started off by creating my own prompts, which are great. I've created my own formula, which I'm going to happily share with you. You can get that as a download. But don't just rely on your own prompts. You also want to use other prompts. So there are tools and add-ons that you can use, and they will give you a different taste and a different flavor of what can be produced. They can save you an awful lot of time. So you don't want to just rely on your own. You want to see what else works. There is a plugin, an app that you can use. It is spelt, let me just check, how is it spelt? AIPRM.com. It has literally, I think it's got thousands of prompts in there now. You can do a search relevant to what it is that you want Chat GPT to produce the content on. So you could be transcribing a YouTube video into an article. You would just search under transcribe YouTube, and then the prompt will come up. You stick your copy in, and then it will pull out the information it is that you're asking for. Just remember that it's not accurate the first time around. You're going to need to adjust and give it further prompts to make sure it's in line with how you want it to be produced. So as I said, I'm going to share with you a prompt it is that I have created to help you to create amazing long form content for your coaching business, which is specific to your coaching business. It's not copy that is regurgitated out of Chat GPT. You're going to give it instructions that are in line, 100% in line with your business. It is so incredible and powerful. I'm going to pop the link below so you can get access to it. You absolutely, and I see people making this mistake repeatedly, and even people who know what they're doing, which is interesting. You absolutely want to, as part of your prompt, which is what I'll teach you, is part of your prompt is you want to tell ChatGPT who exactly it is that you're writing to. So who is it that's going to read this content? Who's your ideal client? What's your client persona? And you want to give ChatGPT, as part of your prompt, an outline of who that individual is. So it can shape the, I said he, I was going to say he then, it can shape the content around your ideal client. So the copy is unique to that group of people. It will give you much better results. It's not generic, it's in your voice, it's in your tone, it's in your language. So you need to give ChatGPT as much information as you possibly can for it to be as unique as possible. So if you want to write about coaches struggling to make sales, you put that in the prompt. Coaches struggling to make sales. You'll have other bits and pieces in that prompt as well, but it's specific. It knows who it's talking to. Really, really important. This is a big one for me. Don't think like a human, basically. Don't think like a human, because Chat GPT can manage multiple tasks. You don't have to just go create an article on coaches who find it difficult to sell. You can give it multiple tasks within those instructions. And with the cheat sheet it is that I'm going to give you, that you can download, in there I'll show you how to layer what it is that you want ChatGPT to focus on. So you don't just want to say create a blog, you want to have lots of other points in the instructions, in the prompt, so it can give you the best information, the best content, the best answer possible, which you can then use multiple different ways. I look at ChatGPT in terms of working in layers. So you give it its prompt, it produces the content, you then go back through it and you think about more instructions to help you to get further in to the accuracy of the content, to make sure it's on point. So it's layers. You're working in layers of information, not just one go and it's sorted. That would be a terrible mistake to put your request, put your prompt into Chat GPT and then think that's good enough. It is so much more intelligent than that. You can produce really, really great written content that is 100% authentic and aligned to your clients. You can also use it to do things like, once you've created that article, to create a marketing bundle, which would normally take you, you'd normally outsource it, give it to someone, you'd be paying for it, it would take ages. This takes 5 minutes. That's actually an exaggeration, it takes seconds. So once you have your article, you can then say, create 5 tweets, create 5 Facebook posts, create slides, and a whole heap of other things as well. But anyway, the issue was, I'm getting excited because I'm talking about the endless possibilities it is that it can create. Don't limit ChatGPT to one task. You can give it multiple instructions that it can do at the same time. Because at the beginning, when I started using it, I was just doing one task. I was just doing one layer at a time rather than doing all the different layers together. So yeah, those are the big lessons that I learned from using ChatGPT. And yeah, let me know. I'm curious to learn about your experiences. I'm curious to know about what it is that you have discovered. Let me know. It'll also help other people from learning about what it is that is happening in your world and how you're using it and how you slipped up, how you've, productivity wise, how you are making it work better for yourself. Okay, so until next time, I am going to love and leave you. Got any questions, leave them below. And yeah, have an absolutely great day and enjoy exploring ChatGPT in more depth. I cannot wait to get ChatGPT 4. I've signed up, but nothing has happened yet, so we'll have to wait and see.